The question is like, what are we talking about today? So as always, oh, that doesn't make sense. We're gonna turn this around. I'm gonna end that. I'm gonna restart it. Hi, where are you from? California. Hi, California. Thank you for being here. Where else? I'm actively struggling with Instagram. But hi, everybody else. Um, all the other social medias are acting the way it's supposed to act. Um, hey, hello, hello. How are you guys? Thank you for being here. Um, as I was saying, so this is the first live of the year. Um, it's the first live for me of the year solo, right? Talking about the things that I talk about. Talking about confidence, talking about yoga, talking about the things that are near and dear to my heart. Last week I went live with my podcast partner about Brazil. So if you had questions about attending our retreat in Brazil, hey, hi. Feel free to go back. That one is on my Instagram. It'll be up on YouTube within the week. That requires editing, and I've been tired. It's I'll be honest, I spent the last 2 weeks of the year in the streets. I was outside, and so I spent the last couple days, right, the last week or so, recovering from said outside festivities. If if you saw my or today about me being outside, like, out. I've been doing things. But yes, please drop it in the comments. Where are you watching from? If you have questions about yoga, always you can ask those questions. We're going to be doing a few different things today, having a little bit of a conversation, as always, right? So hey, New York, as always, I rep Queens all day, every day. So I appreciate my NYC people being in here. Hi, how's everybody doing? How's your new year starting? Like I said, if you have questions, feel free to ask. But just starting off, thank you. There's a lot of people in here on TikTok. Hey, y'all. Um, I am happy to be back. I'm happy to talk to you. I'm always happy to talk to you guys. Like, I much prefer being live and having these conversations than I do actually like creating and editing videos. So please share the live. Please send likes. The likes are free. The shares are free. If you feel like you've been here before and you've seen anything that felt like, oh yeah, I loved when Seisha said that, feel free to share this live, because then other people can hear it too. Other people can learn. Other people can grow here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the shares. I'm seeing them happen. I appreciate you so much. Thank you to the person that followed me, and I haven't even really said anything yet. So welcome. Thank you so much always for being here. So I am Seisha. I am Thick Thigh Yoga. I am Thick Thigh Yoga absolutely everywhere. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. This is my name. This is who I am. This is how I operate. So I am, for those of you who don't know, I am a yoga teacher. I am a coach. Hey, welcome to TikTok, since you follow me on Instagram. Yeah. Um, I'm a coach. I help women, for the most part, women learn their bodies better, love themselves more, whether and inside and out, accept the way their body looks, love the way their body looks and feels. I help people get stronger mentally and physically, and I have a great life. I live a great life, and I love what I do. I am so honored always to be able to be here and to have the conversations with you and to hold this space. And as many of you know, maybe some of you don't, like I said, I run retreats. So I get to do this. People pay me to have a great time with me all around the world. And if you have seen, if you've seen my content, you've seen the videos that I've posted recently, and you want to be a part of these experiences, you can. There are spots open right now to hang out with me in Brazil with my podcast partner. Very beautiful, spiritual, amazing experiences coming. Early bird spots are available until the 20th, and then they are gone, and you don't get those extra early bird bonuses. But I'm available for one-on-one sessions, for like private online, if you're here in New York, privates. And sometimes a private coaching session looks like a date at brunch with me and you, boo. So that's just what it is, right? We figure it out. We have to have the conversation. So if you feel like that's a space that you want to inhabit, message me, send me an email. I'm up here. I am contactable all the time. I am thick thigh yoga. If you can't find me, you're not looking. Okay. That's just how this works. So thank you for being here. I really didn't announce anything as far as my live. Like I usually do, I try to give a heads up so people can ask questions and things. But like it's the beginning of the year. Like I said, I came out the gate with that information last week. So I figured this would be a good time to just do a new refresh. Introduce myself, if anything, reintroduce myself into the space. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. I really, really appreciate them. I truly do. That's the way you can always help a creator like myself. Um, but I'm so excited. I'm just excited to be able to, hey, fellow yogi, um, to have these conversations with you and hold this space, right? So every interaction with me, even if it doesn't feel like it could be, is like this, right? So right before the year ended, I had on one of my coaching clients, and she really acknowledged the way that like she's been able to be supported in her growth of confidence in her business, in the things that she's been doing to work, hey, in working with me and working on herself. And that's the space that I inhabit, and that's the space that I hold, right? Like when I started this page, people always ask me, like, how did I start? How did I start yoga? And I always credit my best friend. My best friend started yoga, and I loved the growth that I saw in her. And so I said, I want to be able to provide that, and I want to see that and feel that with people. I didn't know it was going to end up like this, but I love that I get to live this life. I love that I get to hold this space. Um, thank you for the continued likes. I really do appreciate it. Run it up. We're almost at we're at 700 something, almost at 1,000 on TikTok. Please continue to like. Thank you. Um, so yeah, when I started, I did a yoga teacher program for classroom teachers. I used to teach special ed high school math here in Brooklyn. Well, in Brooklyn, I'm in Queens, right? And so I loved being a teacher. I care about education, and I'm still a teacher. I just now teach yoga. I teach, like I said, I teach women to love themselves more. I teach people to get into their bodies and inhabit their bodies in a different way, in a new way, in a way that feels good and right and accurate for them. And I love being able to hold this space. I love being able, thank you for the gifts. I love being able to do this. I love being able to create a space that feels safe for not just people that look like me, but people that feel represented by me in whatever way, shape, or form. I get that a lot. Hey, I get that a lot. I get a lot of messages saying like how they feel, how people feel supported. People feel like they can do it because they see me, and I love it. Oh, we made it to our 1,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you. And thank you that they keep pouring in, and I love that so much. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you, Dana. I appreciate you, Kim. Thank you for your gifts, for your likes. If I miss somebody, I'm so sorry. I'm watching. I'm trying to watch. It's a lot going on. But yes, so did my yoga teacher program because I was teaching special ed math, right? And I wanted to be able to increase like mindfulness practices into the classroom, be able to help them with their testing anxiety. Like that was my goal to start. And then I fell in love with teaching yoga, right? So I realized doing my yoga teacher training that I wasn't able to find examples and things like that for the poses that I was doing, for the things that I was trying to do, for the shapes I was trying to make with my body. I wasn't understanding, like, okay, but where do my boobs go when I have to do this? Right. And like these are real conversations that I'm having with women that are built like me, and we're trying to figure it out. And I was like, you know what? Well, it doesn't exist. So I'm going to make it exist. And here we are. I have just poured myself into this so much, and I love how I've been received. I'm so appreciative of this space. Oh, I missed some comments, but I'm super appreciative of this space. Right? Yoga, Miss Carter, yoga is so awesome. But when you're bigger, we have to adjust, lift, and shift. Right? We have to move. We have to move around in different ways that is not hello is not necessarily presented to us all the time, right? Well, so and that was my whole purpose. That was the journey that I took, and I said, you know what, I don't see it, I can't find it. I'm looking for plus size yoga, I'm looking for yoga for Black women, and like I have friends now, and I participated in different activities and retreats and challenges and whatever with women that look like me, that I also feel are I could partnership with, that are now honestly my friends. And I love that these spaces exist more, and not just in yoga and other fitness and other forms of fitness and this and the other. Like, I think it's amazing. And I'm so glad. Self-care is the revolution, right? I'm so glad that we have this space to take up now and to say that, like, this makes sense. I have some guidance to look to, right? Like, I love when people tell me that they've watched my YouTube classes and, they're busting their sweat, they're getting into their hips. Um, I'm currently trying to merge my holistic practices into my financial literacy world. That's beautiful, and that is something that, oh my God, on our last retreat in October, I had a conversation with a handful of girls, not necessarily all the participants, but a handful, talking about, like, the understanding of high yield savings accounts and where to get these things and who to connect to and where to invest your money. Conversations that, like, we're on a yoga retreat, you wouldn't necessarily expect that to happen, but this is where you connect with incredible people. This is where you connect with people making moves, doing things, having those conversations, and wanting to hold space together, right? Because we often find it difficult to find people that are like-minded with us, especially at this age, right? I thankfully, so I'm back in New York now, right? And I love reconnecting with my friends, and not reconnecting, but like reconnecting physically, right? Being able to hang out with them. Um, and I realized that, like, this is a very different space for me than where I was in Florida. I made some friends in Florida. I made amazing friends in Florida, but I made like three amazing friends in Florida. Like, and I was scouring the state, right? Up from, we're talking about Tampa to Miami, right? All that space. And still, right? So, just saying, like, I get that there's like this space where it's kind of hard to inhabit that as we get older, right? Like, I, you saw my post the other day, I'm turned 35 this year. Like, I understand that this is a different space in our lives than where we were when we were in college and we just hung out with whoever, right? When we started working and we made those connections. Like, sometimes you work with work people and you don't want to talk to them at all. Understandable. I got some folks like that I have not reconnected with since I've been back home. That's just how that works, right? Um, but the places that you do, the spaces that you do inhabit, the places that you want to be, and doing the activities that you want to do allows you to connect to the people that you actually want to be around. And again, just because you like something that somebody else likes doesn't mean that you're going to like everything or going to want to hang out with them. But creating these spaces is something that I have learned to love, right? I remember, and I just said this to somebody recently, that, like, I used to feel, there was a point in time, not even that long ago, that I felt like, oh, damn, people aren't with me. People aren't reaching out to me. People aren't doing this. People aren't doing that. And then I kind of had to, like, I had to personally, right? We work on ourselves, right? I work on it in my journal. We work on ourselves. And I came to the realization to say, you know what? People don't necessarily reach out to me because I do that. I bring people together. I reach out to people. I make the spaces for connection. You're not getting together for brunch without me. It's because I invited everybody to brunch. You're not hanging out in these places without me. That's because I invited people here. And I'm not saying that I'm the only one. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that it's sometimes you have to understand the way your role works in order for it to work the best way for you. I saw a comment that I missed. Hey, Claudia. So Claudia is a prenatal yoga instructor. I love that. Right. And of course, Deanna, is it Deanna or Dana? Please correct me. Yes, we love a good meetup, right? We need that space to literally just share each other's energy. Like, it's such a good thing. I screenshot it in my group chat. So my very first retreat was in Costa Rica. And I had 8 girls there with me, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. It was a learning experience for me, absolutely. And for all of them, Deanna or Joy. I'm gonna say Joy right every time. And so thank you, Joy, for being a part of the conversation. So, like, we were, like I was saying, so Costa Rica, right? We were in our group chat from then. Uh maybe a month or so ago, and we were joking about something, and I was like, I love this so much because I can hear the cackle. I can hear the group cackle happening right now. I can hear it, even though we are miles apart from each other. We haven't seen each other in so long. And to be fair, some of us, I just saw one person last week. I'm about to see two people tomorrow, right? Like we are actually maintaining the connections. Um, your first retreat is supposed to be in Bali this summer. The Bali retreat that we had earlier this year in April was also awesome. I had that one for 2 weeks because it really sold out, and I loved having the space and holding that space and doing the activities. It was really fun. And Bali is beautiful. I hope you enjoy. Um, and this is why I'm excited about Cartagena. T, are you in here? Comment if you're in here. She is coming to Cartagena, and I'm going to be in Cartagena. I upped this one to 8 days because 7 days just felt a little tight, so we added another day. Because you want a beautiful 8-day vacation, like why not? Brazil is actually 9 days because of the amount of travel. It's two different cities that we're going to be based in. But 9 days in the summer though, right? So like if you have kids, they can be somewhere like it's a little bit more reasonable in the summer than it is other times. Either way, I like to create these spaces. That was the point. I like to create this space. I love to create these spaces, honestly, because I get to just live in this space. I get to go out and be a part of creating safe feeling spaces for people in my life, for women that look like me, for women that feel represented by me and my story, right? So a lot of what I end up talking about with my clients is like that space of feeling like I've worked so hard, I've done so much. Maybe you've raised children. I don't have any children personally, right? If you see a kid, that's my cousin, and I love him, but it's different. I accept that. But as a teacher, right, as a leader in this space, I get to have the conversations where women are saying to me like I put so much into my body, I mean into my life, my kids, my family, my career, my this, my that, and now I'm in a space where I'm like, okay, but what about me and my body? My body is failing me, it's falling apart. I used to be a dancer, and now I can't even touch my toes, right? I used to run around like this, and now I'm exhausted. I'm not taking care of myself, and those are spaces that we all get to, right? I got my master's at 25 in special education, and then I even continued there to get my plus 30 because in New York, that's how you make the most money, right? So going straight through school that entire time, when I finally was finished, I just stopped. Like I was like, oh, I set my life down for a little bit and immediately gained like 20, 30 pounds. So I felt that, right? I felt it. And once I felt like this is a problem, I also felt like, let's do something about it, right? That's how I got back into the gym. Like um, we all find our ways. We all have a certain way to get there, the certain things that we have to do to participate, to experience in order to grow, right? In order to find the next version of yourself, right? And so all of this kind of ties in. Like I said, I got to that space, and then I started going to the gym again, and then not even again, I started going to the gym because before that I was just running around. I was young, I didn't have to. But I started going to the gym, and then that led me into like I said, the yoga, and then the encouragement and the examples that I was seeing. And I was like, okay, so now this is how we've ended up in this space, and now we're here. Emily, thank you so much for the gift. Um, right. So we are in this space where we're looking for something that makes sense for our bodies. And we grew up, and I mean, especially if you're older than me or within 10 years younger than me, we grew up in that like crazy toxic diet culture space, right? Raise a hand if you remember that, if you feel triggered by it regularly, right? Down in the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. I know it's not just me, right? So and I love that there's a conversation happening here. Yes, Emily, exactly, right? I love that there's a conversation happening here in the comments. Like meet each other, make these connections. I love it. I love it, right? You remember that. So we grew up with these like terrible ideas, terrible conceptions, terrible views of ourselves, terrible ideas that hey girl, great to meet you too. Yes, thank you for being here. Um so these terrible conceptions, right? Where like our body's supposed to look like something, we have to beat ourselves into submission in order to be worthy of space or time or anything of self-love, and like that's none of that is true, right? None of that is true. And especially now, like, to see, look, this is my body, this is the size of my body, this is what I do, this is how I operate, this is exactly how this works. There's a mental and a physical balance. Yes, there's things that tie in here, like nutrition and your physical movement. I believe everybody should have some sort of physical movement practice, but at the same time, like, your mental health on this is like absolutely detrimental as well, right? If you remember, um thank you for the support. um right, like, I remember just feeling like, oh well, I can't find any clothes that fit, and that's the thing too, right? Like, now there's clothing that comes out that actually supports us. Now we feel like we're more celebrated in spaces, and I'll say, like, this social media thing, it can be rough. It can be rough. But at the same time, to be able to receive and hear and go through the compliments, that the positive sides of things, like finding more people that you feel represented by, or represented by you in this case, right? And the people who appreciate bodies like this, in especially in a respectful way, thank you so much, right? Um, Having those conversations is really uplifting, really empowering. And happy my leggings are better now, right? Like, yeah, we used to have like such crappy options and things that just weren't made for us, for our bodies, wouldn't fit. We got to figure it out. Which is crazy because, like, imagine telling people, like, oh, you need to go to the gym, you need to work out, but none of these clothes fit you, and when you come here we're going to judge and and be mean to you and not create a space for you. None of that works. Doesn't make any sense. So in order to create more of a peaceful space, more of a supportive space, I am amazed by the way I've been received, and so honored and so grateful. Like, this is how thick thigh yoga happened, right? And so, like, I used to teach in the gym. I got to teach here in Southside, Jamaica, Queens, in Retro Fitness and in Crunch. And I love all my people. Hey, I love all my people that came to my classes, that have had those experiences with me. And that really led me to the space, right? Wearing men's sweatpants from Walmart, and until they started making my size. Exactly. Like, making do versus like being allowed to be cute. Of course, we want to be cute. When how many women are just turning off or turning away an opportunity to be cute when we feel like we can? It's so needed. It's so needed, right? So inhabiting this space and creating the, like, having the conversations, holding the space, being able to teach in Southside, like teaching women that grew up with me, older women, Black women, the women of color, people that, like I said, feel represented by me, like, there. And this doesn't turn away anybody. If you feel represented by me and you feel like this is a great space for you, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm honored by the fact that you are here. I want you to be here. I want you to feel supported. This is why I always say, like, leave comments, ask me questions. What are you looking for? What are you interested in finding out and learning, so I can play the most supportive role to you as well? Hi, hey, thank you for being here. um so yes, this, as I said, has been quite a journey for me, and this is part of the reason why I said today, I want to reintroduce myself. I want to talk about why it is that I do what I do. So thank you all for being here. And so now this has expanded past me just teaching classes in the gym. I have the retreats. Hey, I have the I as Vern here, she's from the Kwanzaa Crawl. I have been connecting with a fellow business owners in order to make sure that I can run the events that I want to run in the upcoming year. I'm also looking to create, me too. I'm glad you're here, Claudia. I'm also looking to create to to host, excuse me, a few more domestic retreats. I ran my first domestic retreat. I taught at a domestic retreat here in New York in the summer, and then I ran my first domestic retreat in October in Florida. And I loved those experiences. It was a different thing for me, and I really did appreciate, like, being in the space and saying, like, okay, these are situations that I can create here, and we don't have to run off to another country. Although I do love running off to another country. Speak for yourself. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. Um, right? We don't have to run off necessarily to another country to have it. We can have it right here. That's also why I run my classes online. I teach every Saturday online. I did not teach the end of the year at all because people cancel and it just doesn't even make sense. People are busy. I get it. But we're starting back up. So make sure that if you are looking to be in an online class, you can sign up at thickthighyoga.com. You will see me. Again, if you can't find me, you're not looking. Thickthighyoga.com, right? There you can sign up for your classes. Maybe it's one-on-one. You can also do things like buy my journals. So that was another expansion that I made last year. I added in journaling because not only do I feel like we need the space to do the physical part, the mental emotional processing is something that like it doesn't necessarily exist for us in a way that makes sense, right? We live in a society where a small waist is considered to be the standard plus size, the standard. Plus size is also very beautiful. Yes, it is. And that's the thing. Like, we grew up with a crazy standard of beauty that does not apply to us. And honestly, if you are anywhere near melanated in any way, shape, or form, it definitely wasn't for you. If you are over a size 8, it also wasn't for you, right? So there honestly are a lot of people that stand on this side of that line. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you, right? So we live on this side of the line where like this wasn't made for us. This wasn't made to represent us. This wasn't made to be right for us. We have to find the right space, which is why I'm here, which is why I do what I do, which is also why I appreciate like the one-on-one concept. Like for my journals, I developed all of these myself, right? This one is blank, it's just cute. Um, but I developed my confidence journal because having the conversation with yourself to allow yourself to grow in your own confidence is not exactly what happens with me, right? Like when we do our one-on-ones, I'm a little more aggressive. That might be too much for you. And if you go to a therapist, they have to attack things differently. If you want to have the conversation with yourself in a space that feels safe before you have those conversations, it's right here. This is the one. Okay. And then I also, so I've been working, I'm gonna put this one down. This, like I said, it's blank. These are my stickers. I love them. Um, but started working myself through my gratitude journal to start the year just because I've done it. Like I made it, right? I know all the questions, but it was nice to start working through it. I'm gonna show you guys. I drew a picture. I don't draw. And this is why it was joyful, right? I drew myself a little picture. You can't really see it on the screen, but it was when I got for New Year's, I went out to a bar with my little brother and I got to pop one of the poppers, if you saw my video, whatever, right? It was fun. I enjoyed myself. And so the question was about joy. When was a moment you had joy recently? And I got to draw that picture. I can't draw. That is not art for people. It was me having a moment with myself where I got to like enjoy drawing a little confetti flying around. I drew my friend in the background. I just got to enjoy it. And I don't need to, I'm not posting it as a picture on my Instagram, right? It's not fire like that. But it was a way for me to express the moment that I had. And I was really glad to do it. Like I really enjoyed myself drawing that picture. And honestly, even me as the person that developed this, I didn't necessarily expect me to have so much joy from that one page, but I'm a joyful person. Like I'm clearly very giggly and whatever. um but I do feel like there's such a strong element of that. If you were feeling like I don't know where to find that, I don't know how to get it, I think you should get the journal. I think you should try it. It's also available digitally through my website as well. If you are an e-journal person, if you're an iPad person, if you would rather do it that way. And if you do it on your iPad, you can get all of the colors and whatnot. Anyway, just saying, right? These are the things that I've been able to create in the last year, that I am again just honored to hold the space of, right? I came out with my first bathing suit line. And all of the girls in October at the retreat got their own retreat version of the bathing suit. The girls in Cartagena in April will also be getting a different retreat version that nobody else will be able to get. And I love that, like, you get this special thing for you because that's what it is, right? It was a special experience. Only the people who were there get to experience it, and only the people who were there get to have all these little perks and all these little extra elements added. And I love that. Again, I'm able to create this space and able to have this to do this for people, do this with people. Um, And I just feel like all the things that I do, right? Like yoga, the yoga teaching and my retreats and the events, like they all support this concept of like, what does it mean for you? Right? Like this isn't just yoga, this is thick thigh yoga. This is yoga that supports my body. This is yoga that feels good for me, doesn't feel like, oh, this is impossible. It feels like I have I have in mind people that feel represented, like I said, by me and in this space. And I love that I get to hold that space. Um, as far as the new year for me, right? One of those things that I wanted to include was more intentional, like um meditation, making sure that I fully get on my mat when basically at times that I'm not teaching, right? As a yoga teacher, you kind of get anybody can can tell me if you agree or you understand what I'm saying, right? Like yes, you also go through this. When you become a yoga teacher, your practice can really suffer because you're teaching all the time, right? So you're teaching other people to do yoga. You don't necessarily sit on your mat as much as you used to. Now, to be fair, my mat stays rolled out 24/7. People that know me know that, right? If you've been around enough, you know that it just stays in the same place. Um, yes, thank you. Of course, Joy. Yes, yes. Right. So knowing that our practices may suffer, I wanted to be really intentional about making sure I'm on the mat every day for a little bit. I mean, I roll around in my bed. I'll do stretches everywhere. People that know, people that have been around me know that I will absolutely stretch at anywhere, put my foot up on a counter, take a nice side bend. I'm stretching these hamstrings or something, right? That's just how I work. But to be intentional about get on your mat, focus on yourself on this at this time. And obviously like mat time is not phone time, so at least we get separated from that. Incorporating my journaling into that yoga mat time, like that's the part. And I can't even say incorporating, adding on, because I do want to be intentional about that as well, to take up a different space and make sure that um I am being intentional about meditation, about my yoga practice, about my self-care, self-reflection time. Those all can be inhabited in the same space, but I also want to make separate individual intentional time. I'm going to be intentional about me this year, and I want anybody that is interested in taking that journey with me to do so as well. Having the direct intention, the purpose of creating the space, of scheduling it in, of really reflecting for me, and allowing others to be a part of that, or allowing others to learn from me, work with me, teach me things, right? I love talking to new people about this because it's like you might not know how to incorporate this in your life, but like if we can have a conversation, we can see like where it should apply, where it would apply, how it does apply. In a lot easier and simpler way than like when we feel like, oh, this just isn't for me, right? Like if you ever were interested in yoga and you look up yoga, and you don't find me, you find just plain white walls and white people, and that's really it. And nothing wrong with white people at all. But when you're looking for some sort of representation on how to do this, Andre, thank you so much. When you're looking for representation, when you're looking for ways to find your support for your body, and you don't see anything that looks anything like that, it can feel extremely discouraging, right? It can feel like, well, obviously it's not meant for me. Wellness isn't even meant for me. That's not true. It's just the wellness industry here in America is built for people that don't look like us, by people that don't look like us. And even yoga was created. Between India and Africa. There's roots in both places. There was trade there during the development of this practice. And so it was made by brown people, by people who are not this, but capitalized upon um, and monetized by people that look nothing like that, right? If you go to a yoga class in the gym here, you're most likely just getting like the physical asana practice. Nothing wrong with having a physical asana practice, having making the shapes, opening up, finding space in your body. Absolutely. That is beautiful. Especially if you use it. If you go to a yoga studio, you probably, possibly are getting a little bit more mindfulness, a little bit more support in the sense of like a yoga practice, right? A yogic mindset, yoga like I said, practices wellness altogether, right? The 8 limbs, like the different ways that yoga does apply itself, you probably get a better idea than versus at the gym where again it's just physically moving your body. And none of it is wrong, but it's not necessarily right for you. Right. I've had friends tell me, like, oh, yeah, I went to hot yoga and I almost died. So I never tried it again. I personally hate hot yoga. My lungs don't like it. Um, that's whatever. I like yoga. I like different practices. I can do a heated or a warmed yoga, but like hot yoga, I don't love it. I'm also dying and at me today versus like I took a yoga class the other night. It was supposedly all levels. I didn't necessarily feel like the teaching brought it to all levels, which is also something that I try to make sure of in my classes, that like I give all the instructions that I can for you to understand how you're supposed to feel, where your body's supposed to go, those things. That's what makes to me an accessible yoga class. But either way, I had a good time. My body liked it. It's totally a flow that I would have taught. Is just I don't necessarily think I would have taught it the way it was taught. And that's the thing too. It takes all kinds. Everybody can't teach the same and shouldn't. And that's part of the reason why I love being able to hold a space. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, so I I want to I want to make sure that with this space that I hold here, right, with my platform, with my YouTube channel, with my website, with my Instagram, with my TikTok, with all the places that I hold space, that I'm creating a space that feels accessible for people who need it, right? Good evening. Feeling great. How are you? Right? I want to create a space that feels accessible, that feels like we can have conversation like this, that feels comfortable, that feels supportive, that feels like, yes, I need to be here and it will be of value to me. This is part of the reason why my classes that I teach on Saturday, I get it, might not be the right time for you. This is why I also have my online classes, a library. It's called the Library, right? And so you can sign into the library. There are members now that they can email me, they can ask questions, what would be good for this, and I can send them the direct link. This is the video that you should do to work on that. Right. It's also the only way to get like one-off sessions from me because I protect my time and my space and my energy a lot now. A divorce will do that to you. So I make sure that I do that. And so you create the space where you come, you attend, you watch the class, you do it on your own time. If you want Seisha to teach you at 6 o'clock in the morning, that's how to do it. Because I am not going to teach you the price I would charge you. You just want to get in there, right? And it's only $25 a month for all of the sessions. There's like 50 videos. Um, and the opportunity for you to receive real-time teaching from me, watch the video, do what you want there. You also get a complimentary 15-minute intro session with me. Like we have a conversation, we get you signed in, we get you set up with your goals. I have a tracking sheet that you can choose to use. You could not use it if you don't want to, right? And I use these things as tools. I created them as tools to support how you are practicing because I want it to make sense. I want it to be worthwhile. I want it to be valuable to you. There's no reason to do anything with your time that isn't valuable. Some of us hate our jobs, but all of our bills are paid, right? So if you hate your job, but all your bills are paid, this is why you're there. This is the value of your time, according to you, right? So it's the same thing here. If you don't feel like your body feels like the way it needs to, this is a way to invest in your body in the time that makes sense for you, right? Same thing with the private sessions. I have some times available on my website, but I always say, like, let's have a conversation. If you want specific times, something like I teach my sessions, I have several clients that I teach them before work. They come to me 7:15 in the morning. If you're on the West Coast, especially, I could definitely do an early session for you because we're on completely different schedules, right? 8 o'clock for me is 5 o'clock for you. You want a 6 o'clock session? Heck yeah. 9 a.m. I'll do that. Like make it work for you, make it make sense for you. That's the point of having so much online flexibility, having so much access, having so much space. We are in a world where, as I was saying earlier, right? It wasn't built for us. It wasn't created for us. Very few people that are going to stop and sit and watch my live, very few people that follow me, very few people that inhabit that space are going to be people that the world was actually created for, right? That's just how this works. A lot of spaces were not created for us. This is why we have to build it now. We have to make it now. We have to figure it out now, right? Even as far as like foods and the things that the health um ratings and things like that that were not based on our bodies, on our people at all. All of these things are real. So, in order to create a space for yourself that feels good, that feels supportive, that makes sense, you have to customize. You have to shift things. You have to change them for yourself. And that's something I help people do all the time. And I love it, right? One of the things, like, so there's down dog. Let's talk about yoga specifically. There's down dog. Down dog might not be comfortable for you. It might be a lot for your hamstrings. It might be a lot for your wrists. If you have a heavier chest, down dog might not feel great. But you might try dolphin. Some people, I at my last retreat, there were 2 to 3 people, I can't remember exactly, that were like, I've never even heard of dolphin or tried dolphin. Nobody ever told me to try dolphin. Nobody ever gave me the opportunity, gave me this information. Great. I understand. That's real. I'm going to teach you dolphin. I'm going to teach you some options that might make more sense for you, right? You might have that strength in your upper back and shoulders that dolphin requires that might not feel good for people that love down dog because you have that heavier chest. You've been supporting yourself this whole time, holding this up, holding it back, lifting and trying to be strong or having to be strong, right? This is supporting your build by doing this pose. And that's something that somebody who never had this kind of issue, who never considered it, could never teach you, would never teach you. And that's what you get. That's the opportunity you receive by going to the right teacher. I also had a one-on-one when I was back in Florida with someone who is a certified yoga teacher. She wasn't certified then. She was going through it at the time. But I got her into crow because I understand how bodies like ours work with that level of um with arm balances, right? Which is what crow is, right? With arm balances, with the instructions that we usually receive, it's like, how the hell am I supposed to do that? Let's take this a different direction. And now this is literally a part of her practice. I love and am honored by the fact that I was able to help her create that space. I am I'm a recovered apologist. Hey dear. Right? I used to not be able to accept and appreciate the accolades, right? The um appreciation, the gratitude that I received. It was hard for me because I'm like, well, I'm just doing my job, or I'm just doing this, I'm just doing that. No, I've done great things. I'm amazing. Thank you so much for being here. You know, like I had to come to that space because yes, I did create this for you. I was able to do that. And the confidence in myself to be able to do that, to have these conversations, to support others in this space is something that I've had to work on actively. This is again why I say, like, get the journals, work through it yourself, right? Like this confidence journal was specifically developed one for my retreat in October. So all the girls got a copy of this, right? And their bathing suits and stuff match this, which I thought was really cute. But not only is it developed for them, it's developed for you. It's developed for the ideal person here. It's somebody that if you stopped and you said, you know what, this live is for me, and Stacia, she knows what she's talking about, and I need to have more of these conversations. This is where you have the conversations with yourself. And then if you book a session, if you book a class, if you book a retreat spot, that's where you have the conversations with me. That's how that works. And I always say, like, I'm so blessed and honored to be able to hold this space, create this space, maintain this space. I don't want anything else. I don't want to do anything else with my life but this. And I love that I get to live it. And I need you guys to be here to be a part of it as well. So I'm always appreciative of you, right? And so I promised, in specifically in my YouTube caption, I promised that I would share some actionable steps for the year, right? For you to start to hold on to your space a little bit more, to appreciate yourself a little bit more, right? I think you are amazing. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. I try to be amazing. You know, it doesn't work every day, but so Zuri asking a question like, how do you manage to be body positive? So as I was saying, right, I'm going to share a couple actionable tips and things and items that I feel like you could really steps that you could take. One, I really mean it when I say journal. Maybe it's not my journal. Maybe you don't want to answer my questions. Maybe it's a blank journal just to support my business, right? But reflect, talk to yourself in a way that is actually visual, right? We talk to ourselves all the time. We have conversations with ourselves all the time, and then they kind of fall away. They go away. We talk it through. We processing. We're running thoughts all the time. But if we can say, let me slow down and put this on paper and actually read it back, right? It's like, oh, I can understand. I can conceptualize, I can intellectualize, I can understand why. Or straight up, I can just vent it out. Because sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it is not about oh, this has to make sense. No, this is just how you felt. This is how you felt at the time, right? This is a space that I'll say, like, a lot of us as women, we do get to hold this space for each other. But if you don't feel like you have the friendships that would be supportive of that, then maybe you need to help. You need some assistance organizing those thoughts. Sean, thank you so, so much for the gifts. Um, right? Maybe this is a space that you had to hold on to where you feel like you just had to hold it yourself. No, find a place to put it down. Write it down. Take the time to to get into it yourself, right? And that might be a matter of taking it, like, I know there's, and you can do apps, you can write it down on your phone, you can do those things. Maybe you want to do that, but a lot of people actually miss paper to pen. That was the feedback that I received, like learning that my journals are print. Yeah, that paper to pen really, especially top of the year, like we buy new books, buy new journals, things like that, it might be the right move for you. And if it is, I would appreciate the support myself, right? But this is my way of supporting you. This is my way of connecting with you and allowing you to have the conversations in a way that feels supported without feeling forced, without feeling like, oh, now I have to answer this person because they're asking me right at the second, right? They're not. Nobody is. Take your time, but be intentional about that time. So that not only just journal, thank you, Corey. Um, right? Not just journaling it, but like taking, not just about writing, but about intentionally taking that time, intentionally taking the time to focus on yourself, right? I also would say mantras. So on my website, I have mantra cards, I have trackers, things that the trackers are free. If you just want a free download, you want to see what these things are like, and that'll help you out understanding whether you actually want to go for the journals, get them. It's free. All you have to do is sign out. Check out, but it's check out for free, right? And then there are also like mantra cards that I designed that I think are really cute. They're helpful as far as like reviewing it for yourself, saying it out loud, being able to repeat and reflect positively on yourself, hearing those things. There are a lot of things that like we get hard on ourselves and then all the words sound bad. All the things sound bad. We're negative, we're sad, we're upset, we're angry, whatever it is. And it's like now I'm taking that out on myself versus, oh, I have a place to put these things down, or I have words to say to put in that place, right? So journaling, reflecting for yourself, with yourself, having conversations in a way that is visual and reviewable, right? Mantras, repeating mantras to yourself as needed. There are mantra cards you can buy, even ones for the shower that are kind of cute. They are in my Amazon storefront. If you are looking for ones like that, physical copies, mine are digital. Like I said, I have a lot of things there. Working on different print things. Literally had a conversation about that today, but neither here nor there. The options are there for you that I'm presenting, right? It doesn't have to be my stuff. I'm just saying there are options. Um, and then uh, embracing community. I know it may be difficult or confusing or kind of stressful, the idea of like, I have to include other people, but yes. When we are stuck in our heads, it's bad. It can get really bad. And it can get really delusional, right? And like delusional in so many different directions. Thank you so much for sharing. It can get delusional in a lot of directions. Either it can be really bad, we can spiral mentally in this like very negative, sad, upset, whatever place. Or we can get to this like foolish, crazy, this is how this is gonna work, setting yourself up for all the failure, right? Neither one of those things is okay. Neither one of those things is where I want you to be and where you really need to be, right? Like if we are in a grounded place because we've done our self reflection, we're in a positive place because we've done our mantras, and we are in a place that feels supportive in our communities, then we are able to find like very reasonable and actionable growth, right? So the question that was asked on TikTok was, how do you manage to be so body positive? How are you so body positive? I believe in my body. My body is strong. My body takes me through every single day. My body doesn't let me down. My body is capable, right? And I pour into it. These are not the only things, right? And when I've talked to moms, I'm like, you created life. Your body is amazing, right? And as men or just adults in general, right? Again, your body takes you through every single day. Your body has helped you make the money that you make. It has brought you to places where you've seen amazing things. You've participated in incredible stuff. This is the body that your family knows. This is the body that your friends know. They met you looking like this and they love you, right? And then if people are negative about your body, I've made other videos that are about that. That's just not what this is about today. But if you are around people that are negative about your body, they hate themselves. They hate themselves. They have a problem with what they see in the mirror and they feel the need to take that out on whoever is in front of their face. So you can feel free to send them to my page if they're asking you. I specifically made a video right before Thanksgiving about that, right? But if you remember, if you were there, right? But it's still real. Like if you are so negative about attacking other people's bodies, you hate yourself. And that's how you ended up in this situation. That's why they're talking to you like this. I'm so sorry. I apologize on their behalf. Send them to me. I I got something to talk to them about. That's how I feel about that. I love your positivity. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you. I mean, I try to be positive because that's the thing. Like, there's so much negative that we could hear, and it's hard. Let me tell you, and this is just me personally ranting now, right? It's hard to be positive sometimes, especially in this space, because the internet loves negativity, right? The internet thrives off negativity. Social media thrives off negativity. It's so if you put up a story complaining or bitching, it's loved immediately. Positivity is rough. It is hard to get the I don't know, it's hard to get the support. It's hard to get the eyes, the views, the time, the shares. People share things that are negative all the time. People share things that are positive very rarely or just less, right? And it depends on who you're talking to. It depends on who negativity is viral, right? Always, right? There's always some foolishness, things like that. It's harder for me to go viral with bringing positivity to the forefront and sticking to my guns about it. Like this is exactly the space that I wanted to create and now I have it. This is my community. I'm not going to water it down. I'm not going to shift it. Of course I've had some issues being positive about my body, especially years ago. But at this point I'm just like again, my body is amazing and I know that. I am strong, I am capable, I am willing to push it to limits. And that's the thing too. Like I refuse to be um I refuse to be held down or limited by hi by the concept of like, oh well, people that look like you don't do this. Yeah, because you didn't let us 20 years ago. I'm doing it now. Like it is what it is. I'm gonna jump into the cenote. I'm going to get on the swing and fly. I'm going to do like I'm gonna go. And the fact that I know my body is strong and capable enough to do so and carry me through that is exactly why I do what I do. Exactly why I have the conversations, exactly why I bring women across the world to do it with me. And the Brazil retreat, I'm just remembering this. The Brazil retreat is co-ed, right? So if you're a guy that's been here for a while, you're actually into yoga, you want to try it, you want to get the support that you should receive as a man, yes, the Brazil retreat is um is co-ed, so it will be open to males and female participants and attendees. The spiritual cleansings, the yoga classes, the activities, the cooking class, the dance class, all those things are open to whoever comes, and it is. Uh, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to hold this space because I haven't really done that before. I've taught like elevated yoga classes or things like that that were also open. So the events, also look out for the events that I'll be having. Queens, Brooklyn, I'm coming at you. I am developing it all now. Yay! Thank you so much. Right? I want you to be able to come and be a part of these things with me. Yes, I need women like you on my team. Are you looking for potential clients for the retreat? Yes, Brazil is wide open. I'll do yoga, but I don't think my body will do all the moves. Yeah, no, of course not. So that's the thing. Like, I need you to remember this. This is a class. I'm a teacher. I'm a pretty damn good teacher, honestly, right? I'm a teacher. There's no reason for you to come to the class expecting to get 100. There's no 100. There's no grades. There's no ratings. Are you trying? Are you willing? Are you listening? That's the way you do yoga. That's the way you find more space in your body, your mind, and your spirit. That's it. Because people say that all the time. They're worried about your oh, I can't do this. I can't touch my toes. I don't know how to do that. I'm not that flexible. You are not flexible enough for what? What do you have to pass? What tests, right? Y'all remember the pacer tests in elementary school? We ain't there. It's good. We're just enjoying ourselves, rolling around on the mat. That's just how I teach. Queen, please reach out to me. Send me a message. Send me a message so I can send it to you. Okay. But anybody else looking for me, always, I am Thick Thigh Yoga absolutely everywhere. If you're like, listen, I hear her and I want to try, but I don't know, feel free to try a YouTube class. I have an hour-long class. I have a half an hour class. I have plenty of 5-minute tutorials for different poses. I want to be accessible to you. Now, the thing is, once you get there and you're like, okay, I want more, or you're here like, no, I need more of that. I need more regularity. Yeah, come to my website, thickthighyoga.com. I've got the journals that you can buy. I've got hoodies and stuff like that, but I've also got my classes. I've got my private sessions. I've got my coaching sessions. Oh, so being weird. Sorry, TikTok's being weird. But I appreciate everybody being here. Do you work with yoga teachers stuck in fear/stage fright? I'm awesome, but I'm scared. Yes, absolutely. I do business coaching that is confidence based, and I just did a live before the day after Christmas, right? So before the year ended, with a yoga teacher that I got her from the place where she was, saying that she was nervous about teaching and not sure what to do, to a place where she is hosting her own individual classes, and she's now teaching at 2 other studios as well. So things that I do, conversations that I have. I love being able to hold this space. I am Thick Thigh Yoga. I'm Seisha. I'm Thick Thigh Yoga. ThickThighYoga.com is where you will find those things. Coaching, Sarah, is all the way at the bottom. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can set yourself up with an intro session, and we can talk about it. And anybody else looking for classes, looking for sessions, private sessions, for journals, for retreat spots, for all of the stuff, feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, check out my website, ask the questions. I would love to answer them. I love having these conversations with you, right? I am always so thankful that people come and ask the questions, that the conversations are there. Yes, I do have YouTube videos, right? They are, again, Thick Thigh Yoga. That I don't hide myself. I did a really damn good job of getting all the handles. Okay. It was a lot. I did it though, right? So if you found me here, if you're looking at my name up here, that is where you can find me all together. Thank you so much, darling. So yes, I have my YouTube videos. I have the short tutorials. I have the longer videos. And then if you're looking for a place to find like a library of classes, I have 50 plus videos in my library. on my website where you can watch the classes on your own schedule. And I don't have any in-person classes right now. Working on putting events up. If you are interested, make sure you join my mailing list. When you go to thickthighyoga.com, there will be a pop-up in a few seconds to join my mailing list. So you'll get that information. Make sure that you're on the list. Same thing with the retreats. There's a retreat interest form. If you're like, I want to know, or if you want to plan a retreat, right? If you're like, for my 50th birthday, I want to do this with all my girls, let's do it, right? Let's make it happen. These are spaces that I get to hold and create, and I would love to do that with you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I am Seisha. I am Thick Thigh Yoga, absolutely everywhere. If you can't find me, you're not looking. Okay. If you want to have more conversations, if you want to hear more, I have these confidence conversations. My Thick Thigh Thursdays, which is where we are right now. A lot of them are also replayable on YouTube, right? This one will be available in about 90 seconds. But in